The Rock Lobsters are back on the road, and tonight they find themselves deep in the bayou, ready to battle the Baton Rouge Zydeco. With just a few weeks left in the regular season, every game matters, and Athens is looking to keep their momentum rolling in the hunt for first place. Good evening, Crustacean Nation. We are at the Raising Cane's River Center, where the Athens Rock Lobsters take on the Baton Rouge Zydeco. I'm Matt Rad, bringing you the action live on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Please hit the subscribe button. We are 10 subscribers away from 2,000. While you're at it, like the stream and ring the bell so you never miss a moment of Rock Lobsters hockey. We kick things off with the Piedmont Athens regional pregame show as Athens looks to shake off a tough weekend in Michigan and bounce back in Baton Rouge. Still curious on if the game is going to be starting at 8:05. We are calling this game remotely once again. The stream is not completely up yet. Still a stream starter screen on the Baton Rouge side. Hopefully we have an update for you. It was originally on the FPHL website as 8:35, but I have been told that puck drop is at 8:05. We'll see if that's the case. The Zydeco are trying to be the first Louisiana program to defeat the Athens Rock Lobsters this season. Between the Zydeco and the Moccasins, Louisiana teams in the FPHL are 0-13 against the Crustaceans. Athens has plenty of firepower to get the job done, and leading the charge is tonight's Fan Saves Impact Player of the Game, and that is Kaysen Gallant. Gallant has been a key piece of the Athens attack, bringing speed, skill, and a dangerous shot to the ice, whether it's on the rush, the power play, or in tight. He's a player the Zydeco need to keep an eye on. The FanSaves Impact Player segment is brought to you by FanSaves. Download the FanSaves app now and follow the Athens Rock Lobsters for exclusive digital coupons. Now let's take a look at tonight's Aikens forward starting lineup. In goal, getting the start tonight, William Lavalier. On defense, the pairing of Carter Shinkarik and Adam Oja. In front, it's Kaysen Gallant, Philip Virgili, and Hunter Alden leading the attack. Malik Johnson usually with those two, but he is serving a suspension. The team physician provided by Piedmont Athens Regional is Dr. Alec Graff. The Athens Rock Lobsters starting lineup is brought to you by Aikens Ford. If you're going to make a deal on a new Ford truck, why not deal with Georgia's biggest and best Ford dealership? That wraps up our Piedmont Athens Regional pregame show. Piedmont, real change lives here. Athens looking to snap back into the win column, but the Zydeco won't go down without a note. Buckle up. Puck drop is next, but while we have this pretty graphic up, why don't we tell you about season tickets, Crustacean Nation? The time is now. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobster season are officially on sale. Lock in your seat and be part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment in the tank. Aikens Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in town all season long. Scan the QR code on your screen now to secure your tickets and join the Rock Lobsters family today. Coming up after this, we got hockey between the Baton Rouge Zydeco and the Athens Rock Lobsters.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Honey, the sink is overflowing.
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
This thing on? Perfect.
3A football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobsters' biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo calls Crawford Laundry. Justin Portillo only trusts Crawford Laundry to get his toughest game day stains out in plenty of time for the next one.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. There's only one place you can deck yourself out and represent Athens' first ever pro hockey team, the Rock Lobsters. Head to shop.rocklobstershockey.com to get your hats, shirts, and even jerseys now. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
just about ready to get started here in the Raising Cane's River Center. Baton Rouge coming off a tightly close game against the Dashers Hockey Club last night. They're showing a little bit of the highlights from that game, a game that ended up almost coming down to the wire, a late goal scored by the Dashers to make it a one-goal game late on, but it was too little too late for the Dashers. They're still looking to end that long, long run. They're hoping that they might go up against the bottom team in the Continental, as they're the bottom team in the Empire Division, and finally get a win. They're going up against the Seawolves this weekend. Of course, the Rock Lobsters, they fell 3-2 to the Port Huron Prowlers, despite twice erasing deficits in their last game. Philip Virgili marked his return from suspension with a goal. Kason Gallant netted his league-leading 12th power play goal of the year. However, it was Braden Simmons-Fisher's early third period strike that proved the game winner. Athens pushed for an equalizer but came up short at McMorran Arena. Now all eyes on the Baton Rouge Zydeco, who are nearly almost 20 points behind them in the standings. We take a look here. The Rock Lobsters firmly in second place. Baton Rouge in the fourth spot, currently still in the play-in game situation, but a chance for them to potentially pull even on points with Columbus. Of course, Columbus still having 2 games at hand. They're going up against the Monroe Moccasins tonight. The Rock Lobsters, right now the situation, they're going up against Monroe to try and wipe them out from the playoff picture. If they're able to do that, they can secure a playoff spot. Now, the Rock Lobsters need 2 wins to do that. Now, that could come one of 2 ways. So if the Rock Lobsters win out this weekend before heading back to Athens to take on Blue Ridge on Sunday, they could potentially be going back into Aikens Ford Arena having secured a playoff spot. But with that being the case, that could be shortened with Monroe losing a game against Columbus. So if they lose a game against Columbus, they potentially would have a situation where the Rock Lobsters would only need 1 win. Now, if the Rock Lobsters, say hypothetically, don't secure a win in this trip to Baton Rouge, but Monroe still loses both games to Columbus this weekend, then the Rock Lobsters would still secure a playoff spot. Wondering if there's still confusion on the game time in the Raising Cane's River Center, because we still don't have a start yet. Maybe they have indeed pushed it to 8:35. It's 8:14 on the eastern coast. Hoping to have a puck drop here for you soon. Stay with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Honey, the sink is overflowing!
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Is this thing on? Perfect.
UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Starting lineup getting announced here in the Raising Cane's River Center. We talked you through the Athens starters. Let's take you through them again. It was William Lavalier who'll be back in the cage for head coach Steve Martinson, a defensive pair of Carter Shinkarik and Adam Oja, a forward line of Philip Virgili, Kaysen Gallant, and Hunter Alden, who joins that dynamic duo of Virgili and Gallant. Malik Johnson usually with that pair, but he is serving a suspension. Now, taking a look, Lavalier coming off of a very, very tight game, that 2-3 shootout loss. That was the first time that he's fallen as an Athens Rock Lobster this year. Penalty kill still top of the bunch for the Rock Lobsters, killing 88.2% of the penalties, but the power play has been marked by head coach Steve Martinson as something that needs improvement. That is something that we talked about in our Coach's Corner. Make sure you stay tuned during the first intermission to hear my weekly talk with head coach Steve Martinson. Rock Lobsters, having won their previous 3 games before losing that 2 before in Port Huron. They will return to Athens Ford Arena on Sunday to take on the Blue Ridge Bobcats, and then a rare midweek 3-game set against the Monroe Moccasins. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all 3 games dropping the puck at 7:05. Make sure for these next 4 games that you buy your tickets now. You're not going to want to miss those. Meanwhile, we can also talk about our season tickets. Crustacean Nation, time is now. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobsters season are currently on sale. Lock in your seat and be part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment right there in the tank, Athens Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in town all season long. Scan the QR code on your screen now to secure your tickets and join the Rock Lobsters family today. Looks like we're finally here, and a very interesting storyline here is that Baton Rouge returned last night to the Raising Cane's River Center after 2 months on the road, securing a crucial 3-2 win over Danville in the playoff race. Shane Haggerty had 2 goals, and Elijah Wilson led the charge, while Bailey Stevens made 23 saves and backstopped the victory. The game was physical, with Elias Thompson dropping the gloves and former teammates clashing. The Zydeco now prepare for a showdown with the Athens Rock Lobsters right here in the River Center, trying to figure out why there was such a long layoff of home games for the Zydeco. It seemed like they were hosting quite a bit of Mardi Gras events right there on their home arena. Another interesting tidbit about the Zydeco, no FPHL team has drawn less penalty minutes this year than Baton Rouge with 621. A little bit of confusion on when puck drop was going to be. Looks like it's going to happen here. A later game for those of you watching on the Eastern Coast with the Eastern Time Zone. Philip Virgili going to line up against Thomas McGuire. Virgili came back from his suspension and scored a goal off of a beautiful behind-the-net feed from Carter Shinkarik. There's Shinks right now. He finds Oja on the left side. Exchanging between circles, Oja and Shinkarik marauding right through the middle of the ice and dumps one off the end boards. Alden with a good move with a stick frees things up for Philip Virgili. Tries to sweep one to keep it in the Rock Lobster possession, but sending it the other way is Elijah Wilson. One-touch, no-look pass intercepted by Oja, sent to their own blue line. Virgili flips it forward towards Alden, picked back up by Carter Shinkarik. Captain Fantastic, skating fantastically as he always does, rides the line with a pass, picked up off the bank by Philip Virgili. Poke check right in the left circle from Hunter Alden, but Nick Catola tries to send it long and does. Right at William Lavalier, who helps it on to the stick there of Orca Weisblatt. Good defensive play there from the Zydeco as they try to enter through the right side. Jake Cox with the defensive play there. Shot came back in from the line, whistled around the end of the rink. Scott Chirac getting dirty in the corner. Coming away with the puck is Daniil Glukaryov. Looking to spring Garrett Milan forward, unable to do so. Kolatarsi getting in behind Lavalier. Daniil Glukaryov getting through the pressure there. Milan trying to block that clearance. Rock Lobsters getting in front of Kuznetsov. Shot comes in from Kyle Powell, blocked out from a close range by Rio Namaniki. Slapper from the right side. That's Matt Garcia who's back into play tonight. Good to see him after he took a nasty elbow against the Monroe Moccasins in the team's last home game. Matt Garcia back in action tonight. Looks like Kyle Russell being deployed as a forward here in Baton Rouge. Glukaryov unable to find Russell. Shot bounces up into the air, and that's going to stop play at 17:49. Only one shot in this one thus far, and it belongs to the Zydeco. And the faceoff will happen right to the left of Lavalier. Avery Smith can't win that faceoff. Shot comes from the blue line and into the glove of Lavalier. Seeing the Rock Lobster debut of a couple players once again tonight. Zach Papapetros, the 24-year-old who just left play for his college program, Castleton University. Former teammates of Brandon Picard and Dominique Rodriguez. Some names that Rock Lobster fans will be familiar with. Also Avery Smith, who was recently acquired in a trade with the Motor City Rockers. Papapetros with a pass to the right side, gets cut out. But Russell wins it back with some great physical play. Papapetros right through the center of the ice, finds Picard on the left side. Picard looking for the centering pass. It deflects off Catola towards the end boards. Picked back up by Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge looking for that long-distance quarterback pass. Lavalier gets caught up handling the puck. Eventually, the Rock Lobsters are able to get it away from the danger zone, but it comes whistling back around towards Papapetros. Virgili working left to right. Finds Garcia on the far side. Garcia trying the tight angle, forced a pad save there. Nice little hack there on the far side from the Zydeco. Awkward bounce off the glass there from Lavalier, and even awkwarder bounce off of Gallant's skate. He goes back to chase that one. Jousting right here in the near boards. Jake Cox comes away with it. Namiki in the far hash marks makes a shot, goes over the bar. Sent right back in, cut out by Kolatarsi. Looking for Alden, and he finds him, but Alden gets cut out by Kuznetsov, who's been a dangerous man for the Zydeco, and the Baton Rouge team has their goal. Narek Alexanian, who has been a very, very big thorn in the side for the Rock Lobsters this year, has scored yet another one against Athens. That's his 13th of the season, and he puts the hometown team up with a little less than 4 minutes gone in this first period. Only 4 shots on goal in this game thus far, and the Zydeco's third has tickled the twine past Lavalier. And a defensive mistake from the Rock Lobsters. This spells bad news, but Lavalier is able to cut out Wilson. Shot comes from Catola, deflects out. The Rock Lobsters need to find their bearings here. Oja down to a knee. Milan takes a cross-check up high from Shaheen. Sent deep in. Lavalier has to play it. Oja, creative little feed over to Shinkarik. Banker pass, right back to the big man Swede. Lukarioff loses sight on that one. Shinkarik always has that great vision out in front of him. Tries to find the route of Daniil Glukarioff. Very, very good feed, and the Rock Lobsters immediately answer. Tremendous work from Daniil Glukarioff, and then from behind the net, he finds the killer whale, and he has the killer instinct to even it up at 1 apiece. How about this for a start to this one? Already a lot of heat in the first 5 minutes of this game. Goals from Alexanian and Weisblatt in the first 5 minutes, and we're off to a heater. Right here, playing the center position and taking the draw is going to be Avery Smith. He's on a line here with Picard and Russell. Russell, we're used to seeing him at the blue line, but getting deployed as a right wing tonight. Icing called against the Rock Lobsters. Faceoff will get sent back the length of the ice. Looks like we're going to a commercial break. Stick with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Honey, the sink is overflowing!
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
Back in action here at the Raising Cane's River Center, and we're already off to a blazing start between these two teams. The Rock Lobsters have just recently evened it up. Orca Weisblatt with a leveler of a goal after the opener from Narek Alexanian. Good breeze throughout this left side for the Zydeco. Matt Garcia with a hit has not been afraid to get physical in his return from injury. Larwood recently named captain, a great feed, looking for Alexanian, who almost doubled his goal tally, but a whiff at the line. That's a bad play from the Zydeco. Picard sticking it through, and we are going to a Paloma Park power play. And how about this? We've gotten so used to $3 tacos through Paloma Park if the Rock Lobsters are able to score on the quadruple P. However, We've got a new activation. If the Rock Lobsters score on the power play, free churros at Paloma Park for 24 hours. Make sure that you get your free churros if the Rock Lobsters are able to log one here on the Quadruple P. It was a play that had to be made there as the Rock Lobsters were free through Russell on a power play, rather through on a breakaway. Let's see what the Rock Lobsters can do here on the man advantage. Shinkarik fakes the one-timer, finds Gallant in the left circle. Captain Fantastic at the line. Milan, little touch there from Virgili in the slot, drifts wide on Stevens. Shinkarik with a one-timer. Still loose out in front. Virgili with his second since coming back from suspension. How about the first night you can get free churros at Paloma Park, and Philip Virgili has earned them on the Quadruple P. Philip Virgili already looked dangerous on that man advantage, that slight tip on the shot or on the pass that he got from Garrett Milan. He's able to find his goal, and Virgili has stayed oh so sweet, has the sweet on the ice as of late. A roller coaster of emotions for this Rock Lobster team, having come in, thought that the puck drop was going to happen at 8:35. They get told it's going to be at 8:05 instead as they come into the arena, go down a goal quick, and since then have taken a 2-1 lead. Alden trying to sweep that free. Elijah Wilson helping pin it to the end boards. Picard lets it run. Alden not going to be able to get there, though. Incisive pass right through their own zone, picked up by McGuire. But the Rock Lobsters able to turn it over in a dangerous position. The backhander sent by Alden, and it's going to be covered by Stevens. Stevens in net tonight. We still haven't seen Sammy Bernard, who's a well-known name in the FPHL, was recently traded by the Columbus River Dragons to the Zydeco in exchange for Brody Thornton. We have yet to see Bernard in a Zydeco jersey. Weisblatt back to Kolatarsi, a one-timer. No go on that shot. Aaron Shaheen back for Katola. Garrett Milan on him like white on rice. Zydeco trying to find a route to pass it out of their own zone. They get one. Larwood jousting there with Kyle Powell, who's wearing the new number 6 tonight. Up the left boards, Glukaryov tries to cast a spell on it. The Rock Lobsters able to get it out through Weisblatt. Milan blistering through the left side all the way around and back into the neutral zone for Weisblatt. Good move there from Weisblatt. Scored the Rock Lobsters first in this game. Thanks to this man, Daniil Glukaryov, had a beautiful assist on that goal. Milan picks it up out of the corner. Unable to get it back to the line, but Milan, with a great play with a stick, bats it out of midair and down for himself. Oja. Beautiful one-touch from Glukaryov. Stuck in by Virgili. Dangerous puck out in front. The Zydeco try to sweep it under the rug. The ice pick, Brandon Picard, wraps around his own net. Lot of speed from the Rock Lobsters through the neutral ice. Shinkarik, left circle toe drag, gets taken down. No call there from the referees. Picard gets pinned by Ethan Matcham. That opens up an opportunity for the Zydeco to win that puck back and start transitioning defense into offense. Shinkarik banks it off the near boards. Past Picard. A lot of craning of the neck here on the broadcast. Gallant tries to touch it down out of midair, much like a soccer player does with their foot on a ball. Matt Garcia trying to use that vision. Misses the pass. Icing is blown for, but no one touched it. Of course, it's always based on who's winning the race at the dots. Looks like we're going to another commercial break here. Rock Lobsters now lead at 2-1. Goals from Virgili and Weisblatt.
Honey, the sink is overflowing.
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Pardon me, it looks like we're actually staying here. Sorry to cut off that message from our friends here on the broadcast. We see a one-timer right out of the draw. PA announcer has something to say here at Raising Cane's River Center. The Rock Lobsters, having gone down 1-0 in this game, able to level it at 1 apiece through Weisblatt. And then Philip Virgili on the power play for the Rock Lobsters, taking a 2-1 lead. Kolatarsi whips one off the pad. Looks like we've got another whistle. I believe that one for offside. Sent in, but blocked out by the Zydeco, and now the Rock Lobsters have it in their half of the ice. Both teams trying to settle this puck down. Exciting pass there from Zach Pepapetros. Luckily, it went his way. Playing in his second pro game. He has had one game registered with Quad City this year in the FPHL. And we've got another icing that will stop us right on the halfway mark of this first period. Taken back into the circles in the defensive zone for the Rock Lobsters. Shots on goal in favor of the hometown team, 6-4. Zydeco kind of win the draw there, but arguably not in their favor as Russell comes away with it. Russell showing a lot of speed in the early going through the forward position tonight. Russell has some experience playing as a forward, but has been deployed mostly this season as a defenseman. Shinkarik able to find his fellow BC man, Garrett Milan, but Garrett Milan gets edged out there by Garrett Johnson. Larwood, the captain, left circle shot, pad save from Lavalier. Glukaryov able to get it away, takes a hit for his efforts. Garrett Milan, a beautiful turnaround pass, finding Weisblatt. Weisblatt to Shinkarik, squeezed by the quads of Stevens. That draws some applause for Stevens here in the arena. We're going to a commercial break here in Raising Cane's River Center. Stay tuned with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Rock Lobster fans, your time is now. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobster season are officially on sale. Lock in your seat and be part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment right there in the Take Ankins Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in town all season long. Scan the QR code on your screen now to secure your tickets and join the Rock Lobsters family today. Also, a flash sale going on right now on the Rock Lobster shop. Ends at midnight on Saturday. Make sure you head on over to make a great deal. 20% off specialty replica jerseys and hats only at shop.rocklobstershockey.com. Back underway here in the first period. Rock Lobsters lead 2-1. Can they make it 3? A blistering shot that challenges Stevens off the blade of the stick of Adam Oja, but that one does not find the top shelf where Mama keeps the cookies. Taking a look at how we got here, it was a very early goal from the Zydeco about 4 minutes in. Were they able to find the opening goal in this one? Looks like the Rock Lobsters going back to the power play here. Oja trying to step through 2. Able to find Weisblatt. Gallant looking dangerous in the slot, then tries to pick up his own rebound out of midair. And the Rock Lobsters, who took the lead in this game on the Paloma Park power play and already earned churros for free for the fans for 24 hours, the Rock Lobsters are going right back to that beautiful quadruple P. Weisblatt tied things up at 1. Helpers from Glukaryov and Milan. Another primary feed for Glukaryov on the goal from Virgili, also a helper from Carter Shinkarik. And the Rock Lobsters get their second power play goal of the period here. Steve Martinson talked about how the power play needs to get going, a statement there as they were able to take the lead, and Mr. PPG himself looking to try and tickle that twine past Stevens, leading the league with 12 power play goals, but an opportunity, a window of one for the Zydeco to send it the length of the ice. Glukaryov pokes it in. Milan with the wraparound. Leaves it for Shinkarik. Milan slaps one. Saved by Gallant. Looks like it went through him and all the way past for Shinkarik. Rock Lobsters reload, about a minute left on the power play. Trying to make things happen shorthanded. Wilson rides the line with a pass towards McGuire. They may have overcommitted here, though. Milan, backhand banker, Gallant, Virgili from the circle, tipped by Gallant. Good save there from Stevens on the quick redirection from the Red Deer Rocket. Glukaryov tries to settle that puck in the slot. It trickles in behind him, and the Zydeco send it long. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Rock Lobsters lead 2-1. A little bit more than 7 minutes left in this first period. Weisblatt able to breeze through. Weisblatt getting in a close range. Shot gets blocked out. Rock Lobsters had more opportunities to double their advantage in this game, but it looks like it's not going to come here on the power play. Picard, beautiful vision there to find Weisblatt on the right side. Weisblatt loses it, wins it right back, gets chopped to him by Alden. Zydeco with numbers. Larwood not able to get there ahead of Oja. Blue line one-timer. Puck loose out in front. Able to get situated to his left was Lavalier. Chirac trying to poke through that rebound, but Lavalier is able to stuff him. Chasing that one down is Picard. Was anticipating the hit from Catola, took his eyes off the biscuit for just a second. Kept in initially by Powell, and then sent from neutral ice across the goal line. and that will be an icing against Baton Rouge. Rock Lobsters with a 2-1 lead. That advantage came on the one-man advantage. Philip Virgili with a power play goal. Another opportunity on the power play, but the Rock Lobsters were unable to cash in on that one. Avery Smith back in the face-off circle in his first game as a Rock Lobster. He's been described as a power forward by Steve Martinson. That one almost bounced favorably for the 6'3" Trophy Club Texas native. Baton Rouge in behind the net through Scott Chirac. Smith able to sweep it away from Chirac's skates. Russell looking for Kolatarsi. And it looks like Kolatarsi getting deployed a little bit as a forward here as well. .5:20 to go here in the first period. Rock Lobsters were down early, 1-0, thanks to the goal from Narek Alexanian, but less than a minute later they found their response. 3 goals, all about a minute apart, so a blazingly fast start to the first period, and it really hasn't been able to keep up with that pace since. No looker into the neutral zone works out for Baton Rouge. From the left side, good work here from Thomas McGuire. Finds an option in Garrett Johnson, whose pass is right into the chest of Weisblatt, comes down, and Glukarioff turns into Danny Dangles once again. Drops it back from a land pad save from Stevens. Rock Lobsters looking like they have much more fluidity in their offense than we saw really in either game against Port Huron. That's very encouraging to see, no doubt. Milan, a beautiful no-look feed. Gallant does so as well. Kolatarsi on the other side, trying to find a way past Stevens. What a goal that would have been. Alex Sanyan settles it in, but right now the Zydeco are not finding the same kind of zone entries that they did to start this game. Gallant takes a huge check-in behind, and he's slow to get up from his knees. That was not a pretty sight at all. 4 minutes to go in this first period. Poked away by Gallant. Good to see him having his full bearings all the way back for Powell. Gallant pokes it away. Into the zone from Shaheen. Fetched by the Zydeco behind Lavalier's net. Shot comes wide and misses wide on Lavalier. Shot from the left circle from Scott Chirac. Blocked out by the Rock Lobsters and sent the length of the ice, and that one will not be an icing, waved off by the officials. Shaheen from the right side. Looking for Jake Cox, who's battling and is able to get the pass off towards Chirac. Brandon Picard finding a way to create a breakaway. His left circle shot takes a piece of the glove of Stevens and deflects out into the far corner. Looks like that one came off the netting. Rock Lobsters maintain their 2-1 lead. Brandon Picard, the ice pick, almost makes it 3-1. We go to a commercial break. Rock Lobsters lead 2-1.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobsters' biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo calls Crawford Laundry. Justin Portillo only trusts Crawford Laundry to get his toughest game day stains out in plenty of time for the next one.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. Back here with a face-off in the offensive zone for the Rock Lobsters, Avery Smith in his very first game in Athens colors. And interestingly enough, it was he who dropped the gloves as a member of the Motor City Rockers Friday night against Joe Colatarsi. That was a topic of conversation with head coach Steve Martinson, so don't miss our coach's corner in the first intermission. 2 long interviews this week, and unfortunately we will not be able to play all of them on the broadcast. But remember, you could subscribe to the Athens Rock Lobster official YouTube page right here. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell to stay notified of all future content. We are less than 10 subscribers away now from 2,000. Why don't you come and celebrate with us and become a part of the Athens Rock Lobster family? Sent in deep by Athens, picked back up by the Zydeco. Garrett Johnson. Quick passing, moving left to right. Larwood, the captain, back to Johnson. Larwood got his pro start last year with the Zydeco. They've repaid him by giving him the C, and here comes Larwood. Can he repay back that faith with a beautiful feed out towards Haggerty? Was good work from Larwood, but missing a little bit of precision in the end. Glukarioff has just been able to bounce off all the pressure. Speaking of bouncing off all the pressure, that's the name of the game for Milan. Feeds Colatarsi at the line, and his one-timer is watched the whole way by Stevens. Looks like the Baton Rouge Zydeco are having a St. Patrick's Day jersey raffle, but it's for Brody Thornton, who has just been recently traded by Baton Rouge to Columbus in exchange for Sammy Bernard. Baton Rouge have taken 2 penalties in this first period, as we see the shot from the right circle from Adam Oja not have enough mustard on it. Glukarioff, little sword tips meeting there between him and a Zydeco defenseman. Oja plays the body instead of the puck. That makes things a little bit easier for Athens out of their own zone. Weisblatt picks it up right in front of the Baton Rouge bench. Between the legs towards Milan, he gets taken down. Another takedown of Glukarioff there. Not going to be a penalty against the Zydeco. And Milan with a left circle shot wide of the mark. Less than a minute to play here. Oja looking for his first goal. Was able to register his first point as a Rock Lobster in the team's last game. Had a power play assist. Was on the power play as a blue liner as Carter Shinkarik had found himself in the penalty box. Colatarsi playing out from behind his own net. Able to get there eventually is Powell. Powell whistles ones off the boards, and it's behind the goal line for an icing. 21 seconds left here in the first period, and it started well for Baton Rouge, but has not gone well for them since that opening goal. Within a period of 2 minutes after the opener from Narek Alexanian, they then found themselves down 2-1. Shots on goal in favor of the Rock Lobsters, 11-10. Shot from the line takes a piece of Alden. Goes towards the far boards. Little deflection in front from Jake Cox. Colatarsi around Casa Gallant, able to take the body there on Larwood. Back into the corner from the Zydeco. Are they going to be able to open up a window here before the play is whistled dead by the horn at the end of the first period? Looks like that's not going to be the case. Michael Williamson asking, did Malik Johnson get suspended? Yes, that is indeed the case. That is why we don't see him on the ice here. We hope to see him back for tomorrow's game here in Baton Rouge. But the Rock Lobsters have done well here. They woke up after that opening goal from Narek Alexanian from a close range. He was able to beat Lavalier early, 3 minutes and 57 seconds into the game. But after that, it was all Rock Lobsters. 2 goals in 2 minutes, one from Orca Weisblatt, a beautiful feed from Danny Dangles in behind Stevens' net, and then Philip Virgili on the power play took another feed from Danil Glukaryov. Glukaryov with a red-hot start to this game. He's got 2 assists in this one already. Look, talking earnestly, head coach Steve Martinson was none too happy in our conversation with him just yesterday. Here is my talk with Coach Marty. He wants to see a little bit more from his team. Let's see what he had to say. A busy week ahead for the Athens Rock Lobsters, a period of 6 games in 7 days. Lots to talk about, including the recently ended trade deadline, a mixed bag in Michigan, and, of course, what's to come for the team. As always, it's Matt Rad, joined by Steve Martinson on our Coach's Corner. Coach Marty, we got a little bit of everything this past weekend in Michigan, a bit of good, a bit of bad, and a lot of action. How did you evaluate
the bad and the ugly? Let's just call it what it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know.
How did you evaluate it?
Frustrating weekend. Well, you know, I thought a lot of things. You know, our power play wasn't a good power play. I thought we took a lot of bad choices for shots, and then, you know, for some reason, we try to score on the odd man rush on the power play, but multiple times we tried to go in and make a play on a 3-on-3, you know, instead of curling back and setting up. So I thought our power play was brain dead, and they asked about practicing today. You know, I just said I'm just going to roll the lines because we don't do what we practice anyway. So that's on my list. And then, you know, I thought we had one soft goal in each loss. I thought, you know, their winning goal was a tough one to watch. And then, you know, they have, you know, one bad goal. And then, like I said, we're getting all kinds of opportunities, but we're just not finishing, which has kind of been our trademark. You know, all but one game that we played this year that we lost were games that we had lots of shots. So again, you know, 2 things going there. We, you know, trying to look at bringing in some guys that maybe have a history of scoring a little bit more and making it a little bit more competitive around here. That's number one. We're making it more competitive.
Friday saw the debut of 3 new defensemen. Timur Gavrilovich, who has been moved at the deadline for Avery Smith. We'll talk more about that later. But Adam Oja and Kyle Powell, what did you make of their first few games as a Rock Lobster? And did having new guys, you know, bulk up so much of your defensive pairs, do you think that played a part in the performances?
Well, I mean, I like the way our defense, I like the way they moved the puck and fit in. And that, you know, it was nice to get some left rights in there a little bit that, you know, we're still going to go with the 6 top defensemen, but it's nice to go with some left rights and get that into the equation. Obviously, getting some size. Tamir doesn't really use his size, but he's not here anymore. I thought the other guys were physical and had some good hits, and, you know, they moved well. And so, yeah, that they're going to be a plus.
There's a huge scrum towards the end of that game against the Rockers. I do think the intentions of the referees were in the right place, but I do think it highlighted how sometimes referees intervening can do more harm than good. Joe Kolatarsi gets into it with Avery Smith, but Joe gets tied up by the referee, and that just leaves Kola a target to be wailed on, and he can't fire back. What's your take on how referees manage those kinds of situations? And do you think that there are moments where their involvement can actually create more problems for the players involved?
Well, you can't come in and grab one player. You just can't do that. And then, you know, the other guy that they grab Joey, and then they grab Powell. And so, you know, and then the other thing is when there's a scrum, if there's a fight, you know, it's just something that I discussed with the officiating, you're supposed to separate the players and get them out of there. And you know, I think we haven't been doing it. We got to get a little bit better at getting the players separated, which kind of alleviates the second scrum. Now, in that situation, that second scrum was coming right away. I think, Smith came in because Joey, I think, was a little bit bigger than the guy that hit Joey from behind. But Joey, just defending himself, turned and, you know, went after the guy that ran him from behind, and he left his feet. And, you know, so, you know, that ended up, you know, we ended up with a suspension, and you know, that was a factor, I thought, in the next game is losing Phil. So, you know, right now we're going to be bigger. You know, we're getting just those guys, and obviously the big, you know, the difference in that scrum is now we have Smith, and Smith's a big guy, 6'3", you know, 225 pounds. And the problem with the referee trying to grab a guy like that is, you know, he couldn't hold on to him. And, you know, so, and then they called it completely, you know, they ended up with a power play, which, you know, I got to watch what I say but I mean, it was really, really frustrating to have them start that stuff and then us be, get a 5-minute power play, which cost the goalie a shutout. So I was pretty frustrated with it all in all, but I thought we played good. And the reality of the next two games, those guys are Port Huron are playing hard, and they're playing for, for playoffs. And we got guys that just didn't match their intensity. And so I thought that was the big difference, really in the weekend. And some of the goals that we had scored on were guys were taking shortcuts. Our penalty kill on the winning goal was terrible. We had forward outside of their power play. On the winning goal on Sunday, we had a forward go behind the net when, you'll see in a game, a player will go for a skate sometimes and go into an easy area. And, so we had a bad change and it ended up being 5-on-4 and Rosie played it wrong. And by the time the guy shot the puck, Rosie was like a 5'5" goalie. He'd come out and was real small. So, my grandmother could have put that one in. It was, there was so much open net. So that was frustrating to see the game-winning goal. And again, I'm throwing a lot of stuff out. We had some guys playing hard. Not everybody, but I didn't think we had everybody in the fight, and we needed everybody in it. And I thought, the big difference from Port Huron is, they had everybody in it.
Why don't we go ahead and talk about Avery Smith? We've already mentioned him a couple times. Not too long ago, there was a situation where we played the Dashers, and you saw Baton Zinchenko, and then he was traded for and brought into the organization. Is that what happened with Avery? And what about him made him an interesting acquisition?
Well, a couple things. I'd looked him up, and I watched shifts of him before we played, so I was watching them, and we'd already discussed some things. And then after the game, I made a deal. I made him a deal they couldn't refuse. Really, is what I did. I just said, okay, what are we really missing on our third line? And I don't like I don't like to say what line is which, but I thought we're missing size up front, and we've lost Murray on the blue line. Now we've replaced Murray as a big guy, but we didn't replace Portillo. We had other kind of small forwards in the lineup that we just had a lot of small forwards, and we weren't it wasn't a heavy line, and then it wasn't scoring. So, I looked at, okay, this is a no-brainer. And I was looking like right now the roster as it stands, we're allowed to bring juniors in and college guys, and they don't count against the point system or the roster or the salary cap. So, and then you have to play 15 games pro. So I'm not looking at any pro I brought in. Let's say if a guy was waived, let's say somebody has to waive a guy because of a roster limit or whatever. I'm not looking to add any pros. They have to play 15 games. I don't have to remove anybody from the lineup, or excuse me, I do from the lineup, but not from the roster to bring in these college guys now. So I was actually looking for a guy like that for Avery, but when he became available, like I said, he's a big, strong, tough guy, and he's just really what we've been missing from our lineup as of late.
I want to be careful on how I ask this question. We saw him drop the gloves with our guys on Friday night. Let me just say, I know the philosophy around fighting in hockey. I know that the guys don't look at it the same way. And I know at the end of the day, we're talking about professionals playing a professional game. With all that being said, is there any risk when we see these kinds of moves that there are still hard feelings between the guys who played parts in these tussles?
Joey probably would have liked to gone up and punch him in practice, but that's just part of, I've literally had I've had lunch with friends that were roommates of mine, on opposing teams, and had lunch and fought it with them at night in the game. Everybody understands what the game is. And our guys, especially vet guys, know what we've been missing lately. And I'm sure Joey secretly would probably like to give him a crack, but he likes having him in the lineup. And really, that's the end of it.
Towards the end of that Friday night game, we see the Rockers roll the dice and empty the net. Josh Rosenzweig gets the puck from the trapezoid and starts aiming for the rear goalie goal. Fantastic effort, goes off the post, turns into a secondary assist. I know the philosophy probably changes on that attempt if it were just a one-goal game at the time, but you were up by a couple. How much do you enjoy seeing players like Rosie take those risks, and do you think it highlights how one of Rosie's big strengths is with the puck?
Well, that would have been nice, especially because he lost the shutout on the power play. It would have been nice to get that, because I just, if they don't get the power play, they're not scoring a goal. And so it would have been nice that, that's the last I thought about it. I mean, right now, I'm looking at really what we need to do to give us the best chance to win every night. So I mean, you're asking about those things. It would have been nice, time to move on, but it would have been nice for him to get that, certainly, for sure.
Well, Rosie has been giving us a good chance as of late. He now finds himself in the top 3 in the FPHL in both goals against average and save percentage. He's the youngest guy on this team now after Reller's been moved, and it feels like he's finding new levels all the time. In your mind, what has contributed to Rosie's climb towards being one of the league's best?
Well, he's got a lot of natural talent. He's quick, and he's got good size, and he's got all the ability, all the athletic ability to be a top goalie. And part of it is just being serious and put his mind and make sure that he gives himself the best chance to be, all that he can be, whether it's in practice or in a game.
We talked about a little bit about the games in Port Huron, and we talked about Phil's suspension. You mentioned that you thought it played a part in the result the next night. We know that you missed Phil the next night, but what exactly about Phil's game do you think you were missing on Saturday?
Well, he's one of our top players. He's always at the top of he's always at the top and making plays and hitting. You take his hitting out, and then the next night, we lose Malik right away. So that line was messed up. Now, is that the reason you lose? No. I mean, it has a factor in us not playing our A game, but it's also opportunity for other guys that didn't seize it. And, one of the reasons, I mean, if somebody maybe, I just didn't see other guys step up and fill the slot for Phil. And it was opportunity for guys to do that. And we didn't do it. And so I've got another forward that's in town. He had to go back. He has to fly back tomorrow night to take a police academy test, but he's a top leading scorer from Division III team. He's the leading scorer, led the team a couple years at a season high 17 goals. So, like I said, we get Bo back and it's going to get real competitive around here. And if you do some of the things that guys did this weekend, you're going to find yourself either watching on the bench or watching from the stands.
What about the shootout too? I mean, Phil's been your go-to shootout guy as of late. Did having him not in the shootout available shooters that play a part as well?
Well, I mean, again, it does in that he's good in the shootout, but we got plenty of guys that are that are good in the shootout. When you look at our lineup and their lineup, I mean, our top skill, we just didn't score. I mean, you hate to it's tough when you go to a shootout because you're putting the whole game on just a couple of shooters, and I was against this. It favors us because we've got some high skill guys, but I thought fans would have liked to see other players get an opportunity to go in a shootout. So it's unfortunate when it gets to that point and we don't, bury it. And we had a power play in overtime and didn't, the other night and didn't finish. So it's frustrating when that stuff happens.
I know some things, especially things said, need to be left out on the ice, but there were fights, whether verbal or physical, everywhere in the rink against Port Huron, on the ice, in the penalty boxes, and even between the benches. Can you tell us your thoughts on how contentious that series got between the two teams?
Well, so I give those guys credit. So what the league has been allowing, and my understanding is they're gonna crack down on this now. But the league has been allowing slashing all season, and I've been complaining about it all year. You're not supposed to be able to slash people in the hands and in the arms, and you're not even supposed to be able to slash hard in the stick. I can see that if they let a little bit of stick slashing go, but we've been allowed to slash virtually. I mean, you look at the play that, we were on the power play and Milan came around the net, and it was, I believe, the second period. He came around the net. They slashed him twice in the hand. He came up to the top of the up by our blue line, and they slashed him 3 times in the hand. Now, I'm telling you right now, Port Huron they're targeting the guy's hands because they know they're not calling it. And so one of the things that set things off is I just told our guys to start trying to break their fingers and start with Graham. He's the player coach and he's their top player. And I was just like, okay, if you're going to do this, and they were messing around with Milan. And it was funny because it was their assistant coach, 21, who ended up just getting ragdolled by Carter. And now I'm not saying he's not tough because Carter ragdolled him, but if you're going to do all the talking that he did, you should be able to back it up a little bit. And I don't even think he tried to throw a punch with him. And that whole play, that ends up being that ends up being the game-winning goal power play for them. And they called us for too many men on the ice. And I'm like, I'm so frustrated at how they can say, okay, what did he do? Did he pull the guy off the bench? If he pulled the guy off the bench, then they get a guy for leaving the bench. But there's no discussion between the four referees. Now, wait a minute. They were on a 4-on-3 power play. There was 7 guys over here, 2 guys fighting, so that doesn't equate to one team having too many men on the ice. And that was about all I could take. I'm lucky I didn't get a game misconduct because anyway, it was really, really frustrating. And then, of course, we on our power play right before that, and I said, I hope this doesn't come back to bite us, but we were super selfish and just brain dead on our power play and not doing anything that we worked on or we try to do. And of course, we didn't score, and that was the difference. I thought the special teams was certainly the difference on Saturday and Sunday night.
There's been this theme as of late of, guys taking knocks, being day-to-day, and then going and playing these really physical games. We saw 3 in Michigan this last weekend. Does that make the 3-game set against the Monroe Moccasins, who have been, I don't want to go and say the word dirty, but it's hard to not bring that word out of my mouth.
What else are you going to call it? They do a lot of dumb stuff, and a lot of it doesn't get called, which is frustrating. But, hey, one of the reasons I blocked Kyle Powell is tougher than anybody on their team. And so is Smith. And these guys play a regular shift. So the guys that they have that are their big, tough guys don't play very much. One of them hardly plays at all. And if he does, he takes bad penalties. And these guys will be playing a regular shift. So, we went back to where we were with Monroe before, where we've got the bodies now to back up, and play a game that if we need to play it. Now, on the flip side, they need to win out. They need to get 3-point games every night. So, they got to come into our rink and hope to keep their season going because we can end their season. And, that's not something that we would be opposed to.
Talking once again about how busy we'll be in this next weekend, this will be my last question. What do you hope to learn about your team in this last month of the regular season, especially this week where you have 6 games in 7 days?
Well, I don't know if it's what do I need to learn. I know what everybody play. I know what everybody's got now, and so you'll see some players in the playoffs that maybe will step up and elevate their game. And they're just playoff guys. But ultimately, what I'm looking for, I don't look for anybody to do anything that they're not capable of. Or let's say, I expect guys to be on their A game every shift. So I expect people not to really be above, where you say, okay, well, I've had an outstanding game. If we have everybody on their A game, then we're going to be fine. We didn't have that this weekend. We had some key guys that were just kind of passengers, and that I thought was the difference in the game. Now, the difference is now, starting this week when we get another defenseman coming in tonight, and the other forward is going to be back after the weekend. So we'll have extra bodies. So if you're not playing the way I know you're capable of playing, like I said, you can either watch in the middle of the bench or you can watch in the stands. But at this point, everybody here knows what we expect. We expect guys to play their A game, go to the net, make plays, get pucks in deep. But like I said, our back pressure and our changing wasn't good. Our positioning, I don't think, wasn't good. And then, I don't push guys to be as physical on the road outside of our division if we don't have to be. And so now we're back in our division and all these teams.
We're back ready for the second period. Sorry to cut off our Coach's Corner short, but you're always free to watch it right here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. A lot has been made, if you're watching the game on the big stream, on what the playoff picture is for the Athens Rock Lobsters. They could potentially clinch tonight if the Moccasins drop a game tonight against Columbus and the Rock Lobsters are able to eke out this win. But, of course, the Rock Lobsters have scored goals in quick succession already in this game. They could potentially really stack on the goals before the final whistle has been blown. Oja playing out of his own zone, able to find Shinkarik. Shinkarik almost loses out on the puck, able to get enough on it to get it to Weisblatt on the right side. Carried in by Milan, right in front of the glass. Milan with a tight angle shot. That one goes over the bar of Stevens. Picked back up by Athens on the far side. Glukaryov jousting for it amongst two Zydeco. Baton Rouge trying to push it through, but life being made uncomfortable by Adamoja on his man there. Sent in. Shinkarik. Just beautiful puck handling and stick handling skills right out in front of his own net. And he picks it back up. Shinkarik drops it off to Weisblatt and then steers off to the left. Sent around the end boards. Glukaryov gets edged out there by Chirac. Jake Cox gathers the puck right on the line. Kyle Powell, no-look clearance, sent into the far corner by the man from Japan, Ryo Namiki, and it gets taken off him by Kaysen Gallant, and a save from Stevens. Really good work there to transition defense into offense there from Kaysen Gallant. Now, the defense of this line will be a little bit more bolstered with the addition of this man, Hunter Alden. But what can he do offensively? Gets it right back to him from the line from Kolatarsi. Tries to send one into the danger zone. Gets blocked out from a short distance by the Baton Rouge captain, Tyler Larwood. Steven Self asking about the rules, saying, are these written somewhere? Because I haven't seen this in the FPHL rulebook. It's taken some clarification amongst people who are in the know in the league, and also some people who I trust, and also a little bit of research in how rosters have been constructed before the playoffs in seasons past. It did take some clarification from Coach on the rule for how much games need to be played in this league before you can qualify for the playoffs. And I believe actually the rule is 15 professional games need to be played before you can be entered into the FPHL playoffs. Good move there from Garcia at the line. He's been very, very active in his return from injury. Picard able to get it over to Russell, sends one right through the crease, picked back up on the left circle, and Matt Garcia, unable to test Stevens. But the Rock Lobsters having a lot of possession of the puck, and already 3 minutes have just breezed by in this game. And it looks like the Rock Lobsters are going to yet another Paloma Park power play as Matt Garcia was brought down illegally. Rock Lobsters will add the attacker and William Lavalier to the bench. Garrett Milan, he gets impeded on a little bit. Shot comes in from Avery Smith. Zydeco get a touch of the puck. That'll stop time at 16:26, but we are going back to the Paloma Park power play, and it's looked dangerous in the early going thus far. 2 power plays in the first period for the Rock Lobsters, and Athens was 1 for 2 on those 2 opportunities. A goal from Philip Virgili, and then a lot of opportunities to double that advantage on the next go-around, the slashing call against Baton Rouge. The Rock Lobsters will be up a man for 2 minutes. The quadruple P coming up. Rock Lobsters have been aiming to try and improve on the man advantage. We heard from head coach Steve Martinson there in our coach's corner that they were trying to practice the power play, and head coach Steve Martinson said, you guys aren't doing what I'm telling you to do, and we'll practice it well, and then you don't do it on the ice, so forget it. Head coach Steve Martinson trying to motivate his team, trying to teach them a lesson. Milan looking dangerous, just trying to shovel it in towards Weisblatt, looking for a quick tip in. Loading up on it, faking it. Kaysen Gallant banks one off the near boards towards Milan. Shinkarik does so as well. Then Kaysen Gallant's shot comes, but it comes wide. Falls right into the lap of Garrett Milan. The super Swede, Philip Virgili. Milan with a pirouette into the right circle and a snapshot snaps the net back, and the Rock Lobsters have a multi-goal lead in this one. Something to prove on the power play for the Rock Lobsters, and head coach Steve Martinson must be proud as they've got 2 on the man advantage tonight. This time it's Garrett Milan who scores number 32 on the year. We'll see if it stays Milan's goal. It looked like there could have potentially been a deflection there. Looks like it will indeed be the goal of Garrett Milan. A 3-1 lead for Athens. They want this matchup to be as comfortable as it can be the rest of the way. Zach Papapetros, his D partner tonight is Matt Garcia. Two guys who last year were playing college hockey and now are playing for one of the best teams in the FPHL. Baton Rouge has looked out of their element so far in the second period, but a better marauding opportunity here for the Zydeco. A little bit of a give and go, but rather it's a giveaway for the Zydeco. Kyle Russell playing a two-sided game, a defenseman who is playing in the forward positions and has proven this season to have that ability to be able to play in both spots on the ice. Hits taken at the line. Baton Rouge still has it. It's been their best spell of possession thus far in this period. A little bit of collision there between Kolatarsi, Zydeco, and the linesman. Looks like everybody no worse for wear, but then the bridge under Orca Weisblatt gets snatched out from under him. Killer Whale gets sent up high, but he's right back to his feet. Katola plays it off of his shin. Trying to fake out. Milan stays behind in the trapezoid. Lavalier pokes that away from the path of Haggerty. And then Milan with the speed. It's not a bird. It's not a plane. It's Milan, but his pass can only find Haggerty. Milan again. Had three Zydeco around him, almost split the trio with a pass. Zydeco finding it very difficult to find their transition game really at all in this one. Looks like we're going to a timeout here. 13:44 remaining. The Rock Lobsters have doubled their advantage. They now lead 3-1.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Crustacean Nation, the time is now. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobsters season are officially on sale. Lock in your seat and be part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment right there in the home ice of the Rock Lobsters, the Tank, Aikens Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in town all season long. Scan the QR code on your screen now to secure your tickets and join the Rock Lobsters family today. We also have an exciting sale to tell you about that's happening on shop.rocklobstershockey.com, a flash sale that ends at midnight on Saturday. The Rock Lobsters with specialty replica jerseys and hats available for 20% off. Back in action here. Have not yet reached the halfway mark of this game. The Rock Lobsters now up 3-1. Garrett Milan able to add on to the hurting for the Baton Rouge Zydeco in what is their second game back from a 2-month-long road trip. Alden with a snapper right into the glove of Bailey Stevens. Hunter Alden has been on the hunt for a goal, still looking for his first as a Rock Lobster, and he's someone who has really been a phenom in all facets of his game. He just hasn't been able to ripple the net just yet, but he has played a very good two-way game and also has 11 assists on the year. Virgili on the draw here, Alden to his right. Virgili joined by a fellow Swede now, Adam Oja. Ooh, a centering pass, and the shot comes for Oja in the slot. The defenseman just wriggles free, gets himself into a dangerous area, but his shot from a close distance gets swallowed up by Stevens. Shots on goal now in favor, 14-11 for the Rock Lobsters. Back underway, Shinkarik thought about the shot, attempted the feed instead, and that might send the Zydeco, unfortunately, the other direction. Good little hip check there from Alden. Hunter Alden might not be the biggest dog in the cage, but he's got a lot of fight. Zydeco still with the puck in the offensive end. Back to the line for Katola. That pass sprung up there on McGuire. Able to send it back towards the line. Misses Lavalier to the right off the end boards. Trying to send it away is Oja. Eventually he's able to get it away from the goal line, but it's sent right back to him by Haggerty. Rock Lobsters trying to catapult out of their own end. And it looks like they'll choose to settle things down a little bit. Oja leaving it here for Virgili. A little bit of a Swedish connection there. Oja past his man. Shinkarik almost gets the biscuit taken away from him. Swatted away from Picard. Zydeco from the neutral ice into the near corner. Shinkarik trying to staple Cox into the corner. Good poke from Shinkarik. Recollected by Chirac. Sent deeper in by Miettinen. First time we've said Miettinen's name, the Finnish defenseman. Played 31 games this year with the Dashers. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Lavalier able to poke that towards Gallant, and then Lavalier will cover a fantastic opportunity for Haggerty, who has scored 10 goals this year. A very, very good power forward for this Baton Rouge team, but was a collegiate standout at Grand Valley State, the 24-year-old with an opportunity to scratch one back, but he does not bite on that opportunity. Face off right to the left of Lavalier here. Avery Smith with an easy win there against the lone Baton Rouge goal scorer, Narek Alexanian. Russell takes a hard hit into the glass. Looks like they're going to call the whistle there. 11:06 left in this middle period. All the goals in the second belong to the Rock Lobsters, and there's just been one. Garrett Milan's power play goal, the second goal scored on the man advantage tonight for Athens. Colatarsi in behind Lavalier. And that one's going to be an icing. It was a great start to the first period for the Zydeco, and it feels like they haven't really been able to follow up that pace at all since the game started. Avery Smith unable to win it against Alexanian this time around, but he sends a hit the way of Ethan Esposito for his efforts. Rock Lobsters have just been a little bit more physical than Baton Rouge in this game thus far, and it's paid off in dividends for Athens. Getting closer to the halfway mark of this game. Ooh, that one bounces favorably for Wilson, and then it's whiffed on right in the crease. It looks like it's going to result in a penalty against Athens. Who was it that tried to bat it out of midair? Was going hard in on the net, and now things have boiled over out in front of the Baton Rouge bench. Milan gets his helmet taken off. Colatarsi tied up with Narek Alexanian. Ooh, the referee. A good display of strength there from the referee on Alexanian. Looks like Milan was getting tied up there with Ethan Matcham. 10 years separate those two in age. We'll see who all is going to have a free ticket to the sin bin here. Looks like Brandon Picard will be going in for Athens. Believe it was Picard who had the initial hooking call on that breakaway for the Zydeco. Seems like there's some confusion on all of the penalties that will be divvied out. Let's see if the Federal Hockey Summary has any clarification for us. Doesn't seem to be the case. Saw a wrestling match out in front of the Baton Rouge bench, but it looks like the only penalty will go the way of Picard, who committed the slash. Lavalier took an ambush and still is on his haunches here, grabbing at what looks to be his left lower extremity. Only penalty on the board right now is Picard's slash. Doesn't look like there will be any others. So the Zydeco with a power play here. And that will be the first Baton Rouge power play of this game. The Zydeco's power play has been a little bit better on the season than the Rock Lobsters. A one-timer there from Dmitry Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov, an FPHL champion in 2023 with the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Picked up on the near side by Ethan Esposito. How about this? Zach Papapetros with an opportunity to impress on the penalty kill. McGuire back over the red line. Picks it back up from the left side. Fakes the exchange. Rides the line with the puck. A little around the world there from McGuire. Then makes the handoff. Right circle pass to the left side. Ethan Esposito took some time on the puck. Made life a little bit more difficult for him. But better puck movement there. Shot came from the right from Elijah Wilson. And a save there from William Lavalier. Kuznetsov able to cast a spell on that one, keeping it away from Orko Weisblatt. From the trapezoid in around to the near side for Ethan Esposito. Catola back to Esposito. Esposito back to net. Returns to face. Catola with a one-timer. Took a piece of something back into the end boards, and then Weisblatt sends it the length of the ice. Catola. 20 seconds is all that remains on this power play. Rock Lobsters doing a good job at setting up some roadblocks in the neutral ice. They're able to get into the zone, but can they open up a window? Lavalier takes one from a tight angle from Alex Sandin and covers it up. Going to be 2 seconds, rather 1 second is all that will remain on this power play. We'll see how it ends up for Baton Rouge, trying to scratch one back on the man advantage. We go to a commercial break. The Rock Lobsters trying to hold on to this 3-1 lead before they go into the second intermission. Stay tuned with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
1 second is all that remains. Rock Lobsters with a win on the draw, and that will end the man advantage. Nothing going there for the Zydeco. A couple of good opportunities, but that is all that will remain. And now here come the Rock Lobsters the other way. Picard trying to flip it up on Cason Gallant. Falls right back. It's actually Garrett Milan. A little turnaround shot in the slot. Gets blocked out to the right. Picard wins it back in the trapezoid. All the way around. Falls for Kolatarsi, who made the step up. Sends a shot that goes wide, picked back up by the Swedish defenseman Adamoja. Shot from the line from Glukaryov is saved by Stevens. Rock Lobsters with a 3-1 lead. 1 goal to equalize from the killer whale, Orca Weisblatt, and then Philip Virgili on the power play. Ended up being 2 on the man advantage on the night for the Rock Lobsters, as Garrett Milan was able to snap the net with a wrister to make it a 3-1 game. Win there for Dmitry Kuznetsov, the Russian, against the Swede. And here he comes. Poked away from Kuznetsov, but falls for Haggerty. Virgili sweeps it out from the far boards. Shinkarik here with Powell, the 2 BC boys on the blue line. Speaking of blue line, there comes a shot from the Baton Rouge blue line that requires a pad save from Willie. Shinkarik around for Powell. Lavalier. Shinkarik around for Powell. Perfect pass into the grasp of Shinkarik, who finds Weisblatt in the slot. Unable to kill the momentum of that puck, and then it's taken away from Virgili. Cox right through the center of the rink. Cox with a right circle feed, and it looks like there was an early step from the Zydeco over the line, and that's going to be an offside. Both teams will change. Starting to see a little bit of a mixing of the lines. Looks like it's Alden there on the far side, in between, rather, Avery Smith in between him and Russell. Good tenaciousness from the Zydeco on the faceoff. They need to start showing a little bit more here. Larwood for Alex Sanyan. Alex Sanyan got the scoring started in this game. There's been 3 unanswered Rock Lobster goals ever since then. Russell from the right side, looking to lead Alden. Alden, a perfect feed to the new man, Papa Petros. 2 Zydeco out in front of him made life difficult. Having to put on the burst of speed there is Matt Garcia, as a Hunter Alden pass gets deflected into the Rock Lobsters' defensive zone. Sent away by the Rock Lobsters, picked back up by Catola. It's been a really, really quick second period. Russell was able to get a hold of that puck, but did so in neutral ice, took it over, and brought it over before his line mate was able to return. So that will be an offside. Really want to plead with you guys. We are so close. 1,996 subscribers belong to the Athens Rock Lobster Network now. Why don't you send the stream to your friends? Why don't you get them involved? If you're not already watching, subscribe yourself to the Athens Rock Lobster Network. We edge ever closer to 2,000. That one bounced over the head of Milan. Ethan Esposito trying to get there first. Kolatarsi gets there ahead of the pass towards Wilson. Stuck out on the far side. Glukaryov tries to load up a shot. He gets impeded on by Ethan Esposito. Little one-on-one here. Dangle there from Elijah Wilson, who has scored more goals than any other healthy Zydeco this season. And that's despite the fact that Wilson has had some time on loan this year to the Birmingham Bulls in the SPHL. Milan looking as dangerous as he ever does. A wrister from the left circle and a glove save from Stevens. What's interesting is the shot on goal numbers. The Rock Lobsters with a slight advantage, but it feels like they've really controlled the pace in the second period. We go to another commercial break, less than 5 minutes to go before we go to the second intermission.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobsters' biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo calls Crawford Laundry. Justin Portillo only trusts Crawford Laundry to get his toughest game day stains out in plenty of time for the next one.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. There's an interesting game going on, and a lot of the Rock Lobsters' potential playoff picture has a hinging result in this game. So Monroe Moccasins currently tied with the Columbus River Dragons at 3 apiece in the second period. If the Rock Lobsters are able to get a win tonight, close out this game, and Monroe drops that one, they will de facto clinch playoffs. As we see a slapper there from the right side. Another good save from Stevens. He's starting to see pucks flying at him a little bit easier in this game. Now, you might not see that reflected on the FPHL website because it is somewhat de facto. I don't think that there's anything that the that the Moccasins can do at this point to try and even up the Rock Lobsters in terms of the tiebreaker. So, if the Rock Lobsters win the game tonight and the Moccasins lose, there would still be a chance for the Moccasins to get level on points with the Rock Lobsters, but Athens would have the edge on the tiebreaker. Good job by Baton Rouge to beat out the icing. A shot blocked by Hunter Alden there. He'll pick it back up. Alden doing a little bit of everything thus far, and a beautiful leading pass towards Casey Gallant. Right circle effort is saved by Stevens. Right now, Bailey Stevens has been in charge of making sure things don't get ugly for the Zydeco in this game. Dumped back in by Baton Rouge. Less than 4 minutes to go in this second period. Shots on goal in favor of the Rock Lobsters, 17-14. Going to take a lot for Papa Petros to beat that out, and indeed he won't. That's going to be an icing against Athens. Second period, 3 minutes, 44 seconds left. It was the Zydeco who opened things up through Narek Alexanian. Rock Lobsters tied the game a minute later. They had a lead a minute after that. Then Garrett Milan made it a 3-1 game with a power play goal earlier on in this period. Good work out of the faceoff for Athens, but it's Zydeco who come away with it. Off the end boards. Good hit there from Papa Petros. Looking like a man on that hit, but a shot comes from the slot. Elijah Wilson with a test of lavalier. But that is well higher than a passing grade from the 25-year-old netminder from Montreal. Seen a lot of support in the chat recently for Hunter Alden as he tries to get a hold of that first goal in Rock Lobster colors for him. First pro goal as well for Alden. That one's an awkward one for Lavalier. Spills in behind, and it might spring the Rock Lobsters the other way. Garrett Milan with a beautiful move. He gets tied up with a wrestling move. And it will indeed be a Paloma Park power play. And what's interesting about this is we talked about how disciplined the Zydeco have been on the year. We talked about how no FPHL team has drawn less penalty minutes this year than Baton Rouge coming into this one, 621 minutes. Now, maybe when you talk about that, you're not talking as much about the ticky-tack fouls. It's maybe more of a willingness to drop the gloves because 5 minutes or potentially 10 minutes in comparison to a 2-minute penalty, those really start to stack up. But the Rock Lobsters, with yet another opportunity on the power play, I believe this is the 4th of the night, and the Rock Lobsters have an opportunity to score their 3rd power play goal of the evening. Being told by Gabriel, we have indeed reached 2,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, Crustacean Nation, for making it possible. Can the Rock Lobsters make the celebratory feeling even tenfold if they score on the power play goal? Shinkarik with a great effort there and a save by Stevens. Milan with another one. Kesa Galan picks it back up on the rebound. Back to Shinkarik at the line. Milan loads up a slapper into the glove of Stevens. How about that to carve out a couple great opportunities in the first 30 seconds of the power play? The Rock Lobsters able to reach 2,000 subscribers here. And the Rock Lobsters try and deal an early dagger here against the Zydeco, already up 3-1. And Baton Rouge have looked not as great as they did to start this game. It was a really hot start for Baton Rouge, but have not looked as fluid at all in their game. Perfect keep in. Springs Milan just misses wide to the left. Beautiful opportunity for Super Milan. Milan, here he is again. Here he is again, looking for a deflection in the slot for Virgili. Falls down for Gallant. Glukaryov already has a beautiful assist in this game from the trapezoid. Shinkarik out to the right. Milan, that one's still loose out. Milan goes over to fetch. Glukaryov, one-time feed off of Virgili, spills towards Milan. Less than 2 minutes to go in this period. Glukaryov sends a puck that asks questions in a dangerous position, but the Zydeco able to answer all of them thus far. Virgili trying to wrestle Cox away from that puck. Shinkarik to Milan. Steps on the brakes as he gets that puck over the line. Ooh, beautiful effort from Virgili on the far side. Virgili, that one's still loose out. Glukaryov trying to stuff it through. Stevens stops him on the welcome mat. Bailey Stevens with potentially his best save of the evening thus far. And a little bit of a Hulk Hogan move to the audience to try and get something going for them, as there was something to cheer about early on for the Zydeco, but not much ever since then. Different unit on for head coach Steve Martinson. 13 seconds to go on the power play. 1:22 to go in the second period. Alden against McGuire. McGuire gets called for the false start. A replacement necessary. Elijah Wilson on in his place. Backhand sweep ahead. Alden. In behind for Weisblatt. Alden with a right circle shot. Try to grab the deflection back down with his glove. And the power play is over for the Rock Lobsters. McGuire trying to make something out of it. A minute of play remains. Bank pass on the near boards. Picard out to the left. Stuck in by Weisblatt. Stevens whistling in around. Alden with a hit there on Katola. Weisblatt comes away with the puck. Pressured by Katola. Alden has it free. Slapper comes from the far side. Almost sprung out loose out in front for Alden. Catola gliding through the neutral ice to the near side for Haggerty. Takes a hit. Puck comes to the end board, sent away by Athens. Weisblatt cuts through the center of the ice. Danny dangles towards the boards. Stevens out of his crease to play the puck. 10 seconds to go in this period. Is there one last rush here for Alex Sanion and the Zydeco? Potentially. Larwood in the slot. Shinkarik takes it away from him like a piece of candy from the baby. And we go into the second intermission, especially we had a chance to talk with Carter Shinkarik. Shinkarik has an assist in this game on Philip Virgili's goal. And something that he talked about was his willingness to kind of chirp Philip Virgili, who's been his roommate on the year and one of his best friends, someone that he's known quite a bit. And we also got a chance to answer some of your questions. If you want a chance to ask some questions for future player interviews, make sure you're a part of the Athens Rock Lobster fan page on Facebook. Here's my chat with Captain Fantastic himself, Carter Shinkarik. Voice of the Rock Lobsters, Matt Rad, and you're watching Lobster Tales. It's the best way to learn about your favorite Athens Rock Lobster players. And lots of you have been clamoring for a talk with today's guest. I may know him as Captain Fantastic, but you might know him as Carter Shinkarik. Shinks, how you doing, my man?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, my brother. You're always one of my absolute favorite guys to talk to. You were the first guy I ever talked to and ever interviewed after I was hired. Looking back to that time, I can't believe, how huge it's all gotten. Thinking about the arena, the play of the team, how fervent the flame of the fans is. Looking back from how you felt back then to how you feel now, are even you surprised on how everything has gone down?
Yeah, I think there's always uncertainty with the first-year program. What's the fan base going to be like? Is the team going to be successful? Kind of will anyone know who you are in town? But it's caught like wildfire, and it kind of started when you kind of got a feeling of, oh, we're onto something here. Was even before we got to play at home. I think we were on the road first, 11, 12 games, and we had that Christmas parade, and kind of our first time being in the city of Athens, and people are going crazy, when our float or, when we're doing the parade, and, you have a bunch of people with the claws up. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to see you, all that stuff. And you kind of, you felt a little special, and, it's just, the turnouts for the games have been great. Fan support, walking around town, people recognize us. So, it's been a cool experience, and everything I think a player can ask for so far.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about was your captaincy. I remember asking you about getting the C when it happened at the beginning of the season. Do you feel like the importance and the weight of that letter has grown since being able to play out in front of the fans in Aikens Ford Arena?
I gotta try not to put too much thought into it, to be honest. I know older guy, and, kind of expected to be a leader on a team when you wear a letter, but at the end of the day, it's a small patch on a jersey, and we got lots of older guys with, tons of great insight of the game who play the game right and conduct themselves the right way. So, it's leadership by committee, and, first year captain, you're just trying to set the tone, lead by example, but try not to think about too much. Just wake up every day, go to work, and, try to do all the right things, and hopefully the guys see that, follow along. And like I said, lots of leaders on this team. It's been fun getting to establish our culture, and, having meetings with guys and constantly kind of tweak. And, hey, do we like how we're doing things this way? Do we want to change? And, it's kind of the cool thing with the first year program. You're not building off culture from years before, trying to change it or fix it. It's more, you got to create it, and you create it by committee, collective effort. And, that's the definition of a team, is everyone pulling on the same rope and trying to win hockey games.
There's already been a ton of fantastic memories involved with this team in its first year, and hopefully there's still plenty of more to come in this season. But you've really had a front row view of every fantastic moment the club has experienced this year, When you look back at this first season in club history, what is the first moment that comes to mind?
Probably, playing the first game at home was a special moment. Waited a little bit longer than we wanted to, but patience is a virtue, I suppose. But we did this thing after the game where we take a little victory lap when we win, and thank our fans for coming, and salute the crowd. And that first time at home, had a big crowd, swept the weekend. Fans are going crazy, and you kind of, special feeling for sure. So lots of great moments. Best moment is still yet to come at the end of the season, but so far a bunch of small victories along the way. And I think the boys are looking forward to the last 2 months of the season, and they're the most fun, most taxing, most demanding physically, mentally, emotionally, but it's all worth it in the end. Come May, when we're racing the cup, all that hard work pays off.
One thing I've been interested about and have asked a ton of the guys about is the treatment of the players from this organization. It feels like something we're seeing more and more in the news recently, how players are getting treated in the minors. Your playing has spanned across the coast, the SB, other Fed teams, even in Hungary. How does this organization weigh up in terms of facilities and treatment of players?
Well, facilities, bar none in minor pro hockey. I mean, it's pretty much an AHL rink. We get treated incredibly well here, and we're blessed and fortunate, and try not to take it for granted. You'd be on the ice and guys would come up to you. You guys get treated well. Like, it seems like an unreal place to play. And bluntly, you gotta say, yeah, we're spoiled. Like I said, try not to take it for granted. Played in different leagues in the Fed. I don't think there's a better place to play, and I'm not just saying that. I played in different markets, and every place has pros and cons. There's not really too many cons playing here. You have good staff, good fan base, a good arena, good town, good fan support, winning team. As a player, checks off pretty much every single box that you can think of. Guys who get traded, or we sign from other teams, even different leagues. It's kind of a shocking eye moment, especially the first time they see the arena, going, holy smokes, this is pro hockey. And we try to create the standard, both on and off the ice of East Coast Hockey League standards. So it's the habits that we try to enforce every single day. And that's not just from the players, it comes from the staff. And everyone part of the organization has done a great job getting this thing going, and it's taken off. And you put time, effort, energy into anything, it's going to pay off. And that's kind of what you're seeing happening in Athens with hockey right now.
I want to zoom in onto your play on the ice a little bit. I don't think there's anyone that plays as a defenseman like you do in this league. And a lot of that has to do with your background, primarily as a forward. You've seen a couple games this season at forward as well. I remember those couple games in Columbus. Was that something that made you excited getting to play at center again? Or are you seeing how much you're influencing the game from the blue line right
now? Yeah, it's always nice to, I guess, kind of switch it up a little bit. And I think the first 29 years of my life, I was playing forward, and then made the transition to D. So when you got to go back, it's a blast from the past, and I like it. Win a couple face-offs, get to chirp our centers a little bit. That's how it's done, boys, sort of thing. But yeah, I think a lot of guys, you see Russ go forward, play forward in D. We had Demke, a couple guys. The guys here, whatever it takes, they play forward, they play D. I play goalie if I needed to. It's kind of, what does the team need? And the boys are more than willing to get it done and do it for the team and organization.
I was on the road trip to Blue Ridge, and it was right after the Four Nations face-off. We're still not too far removed from it. You're a proud Canadian boy from British Columbia. How heated did it get between the Canadian guys and the American guys as you guys got to watch that tournament unfold?
Yeah, it was awesome. There's a lot of chirps, a lot of side wagers, and not just with the Americans, but Phil's Swedish, so gotta get my skates untied from him a few times. So it's all in good fun, but I think people are patriotic with their country. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in the U.S. I think U.S. is a great country, but proud Canadian. So when they got it done in the finals, it's definitely bragging rights, and you're walking in, your head's a little bit higher, your chest is out a little bit, and you got to kind of anytime you can kind of pick on some of the teammates and good fun, it's free game, and boys are willing to do it.
I was going to ask, did everyone just kind of gang up on Phil? He's the only Swedish guy, and there's maybe a third of the team's Americans, another third is Canadians. Did everyone just gang up on Phil and bully him?
I think people gang up on Phil quite a bit, regardless of the four nations. He's a easy target, but the boys love Phil. He's an awesome teammate, good friend of mine. I've known Phil for a long time, so he's a big part of this team, big puzzle piece, voice in the locker room. Everyone respects him. Everyone loves Phil. So, but when you can, Phil gives you an inch, you'll take a mile, just because you love the reactions, and it's all part of what we love about him.
Speaking about pride from where you're from, another BC guy just got added into the mix. Kyle Powell recently signed with the team. I was curious how he's fitting into the fray with you and Garrett Milan, who are both from BC.
Yeah, can't have enough Western Canadian kids on the hockey team. So he's been awesome. Small sample size so far, but he's meshed in well with the boys. Played the same junior hockey team that he played with, just a few years apart. But it's always kind of nice, part of the game, which especially if you meet new people, but it's also kind of nice to have some familiarities with cities, towns, and experiences that you had back home that you can kind of swap stories with. So he's a big boy, tough guy. The conversation I was had with him, he's here for a reason. He wants to do his job. He's done everything we've asked for him so far, and it'll continue to grow with even all the other new guys. It takes a little bit to build chemistry, but that's kind of our job as players and older guys to make them feel welcome, and kind of talks of, hey, there's been a decent amount of turnover lately. What's something we can do for team bonding? I know we're talking about going bowling, and weather's getting nicer, just kind of doing something. More time you spend with the boys, the more you're going to be closer. The closer you are, the more you're going to play for each other on the ice. So Kyle's done a great job. Charismatic, fun-loving guy to loves life, always a smile on his face. So he's been a great addition for us.
Well, Shanks, we're introducing a new segment to our show in this episode where we reach out to Crustacean Nation and ask them for questions to ask you. We're simply calling it Question a Crustacean. Our first question comes from close friend of the show and admin of our Rock Lobster fan page, Niven McCrary. She wants to know, which teammate would you least want to be stranded with on a deserted island? I think I might know your answer.
There's well, I wouldn't care about stranded with anyone, but a few, just for the sake of friendly kind of banter and picking on someone. I'll say my boy Phil. Him and I, we get arguments all in good taste. Like we're super close, but I'm pretty sure we would be wringing each other's necks after a couple of days. And then, it like I said, all in good fun, but for the sake of, I like picking on Phil, I'll say Phil for sure.
I was going to say, you say that, but aren't you guys roommates on the road?
Yeah, roommates on the road. Sometimes not too many words spoken. A lot. Sometimes can't shut us up. So, but that's all part of the brotherhood. So, like I said, anytime I can pick on him and show him the video of me doing so, I'll definitely take that chance and opportunity.
Well, Shanks, our next question comes from Shannon Vanskike, and you've told me this story before, but she wants to know how you lost your teeth.
Yeah, it happened a couple years ago. Just kind of forechecking a D, and I think he tried to go glassing out and went my face and in with the puck. So kind of knew right away that you could kind of feel they were chipped and pretty wiggly. Went to the bench and I think there was only like 3 minutes left in the game, so let's worry about it after the game. Had some blood on the jersey, had to go to the locker room, and then I ended up actually like pulling 2 of my teeth, and I was going to go for a third one, and kind of thought after the 2 of them were out, I'm getting a little trigger happy here. I kind of want to keep my teeth in my mouth. So I always say you got to look the part. It's pay the hockey tax every now and then. So it was cool for a couple of weeks. I had a hockey player missing some teeth. Been a couple of years. Looking forward to the day I get them permanently fixed, and but all part of the game. And should probably wear a mouth guard, learning lesson, but that's the way it goes. Like I said, you pay the hockey tax every now and then. I paid it. Hopefully no more missing teeth in the future.
Adam Waters with a technical question. He says, during a power play, how do you know when to rip a slap shot or distribute the puck? What are you seeing that influences that decision? He also adds, I love the Captain Fantastic slap shots on the Paloma Park power play. How do you answer that question, Shinks?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's just Milan and I, we're always working with each other on the left side of me. I know Galley's there, and Orcs has been there, a couple guys that cycle through, but Milan's kind of been on my right-hand side for a bit, and usually the guy, as a right-handed guy, is giving me the pass, so try to do a little pre-scan. Am I in a position if the puck comes to me? Do I have a lane? Sometimes I think I have a lane. Shots get blocked maybe more than I want them to, but job at the top of the power play is just kind of distribute when it needs to be distributed. You see if there's any nut front guys creating the screen, and if you have a lane, take a shot. You can't score if you don't shoot. So it's a little bit of guessing game and hoping, trusting your instincts, but we kind of work on different looks and stuff like that. So you just kind of you're constantly reading and feeding off what the other team gives to you. Someone's in the lane, try to pass it. Someone's not in your lane, take a shot.
My next question comes from Sarah Jane Bork-Young. She tells us, we always see you chatting with the refs as someone is heading to the sin bin. What's the most frequent and or ridiculous thing you say?
Probably can't say the most ridiculous or repeat some of the stuff. But I try to the reffing, good, bad, ugly, tough job for refs. Got to have some thick skin. You're constantly under a microscope. You're getting berated by fans, players, you name it. So, I just try to get understanding of, every ref has a kind of a line of what they allow and don't allow. So just trying to get consistency out of them and get a clear message of what's going to be called and what isn't. And when it's not consistent, kind of letting them know, hey, this one play is getting called, this other play is not. Try to attract more bees with honey than vinegar with the refs. So you want them on the team's good side. So I'm pretty calm with them. Sometimes emotions can take over, and you kind of have to tell it as it is. But more times than not, just trying to communicate with them, and just see where their line of penalties are being called, and kind of letting them know what we're seeing from our side. And it's player safety as well. We just want our guys to be safe and not getting injured. Guys taking liberties. We're big, strong, fast team, a good team. Other teams are going to have to find ways.
Hate to cut off our interview with Carter Shinkaruk. You can watch that here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Narek Alexanian got the scoring started for the Zydeco, but it was all the Rock Lobsters after that. You see the goal there from Orca Weisblatt that got tied things up. And then the lead came. Carter Shinkaruk sent in a shot that rebounded towards Philip Virgili in the slot. He was then able to make it a 2-1 game. And then Garrett Milan with a snapper on the power play, 2 consecutive power play goals for the Rock Lobsters, and that has given them a 3-1 lead through the first 2 periods. Again, there was that opener from Narek Alexanian. Taking a look at some of the scores around the FPHL right now. Carolina up big against the Watertown Wolves right now, 7-1. The Port Huron Prowlers up 6-2. Another big lead for them. How about this, though? The Columbus River Dragons, after having a big amount of time tied with Monroe 3-3, Columbus has now taken a 5-3 lead against the Monroe Moccasins. Big news for the Rock Lobsters as they can now potentially clinch the playoff spot tonight if they are able to themselves get a win against the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Mississippi has just taken a 4-2 lead against the Danville Dashers. Danville trying to break that losing streak. I thought Mississippi might be a good chance to do so because Danville coming off a strong performance last night, going down by just a goal against the very team that the Rock Lobsters are facing tonight. We're still a couple seconds away from third period action. 20 minutes on the board. Can the Rock Lobsters close things out in Baton Rouge? We'll find out after this.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Honey, the sink is overflowing!
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro. Like it never even happened.
Just hang on. Perfect.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobsters' biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo...
We're back in action here for the third period. The Rock Lobsters with a face-off win. Handled here by Adam Oja, right out in front of the penalty boxes. Given away by the Rock Lobsters, sent back in by Elijah Wilson. Takes it to the end boards, and Oja takes Wilson to the boards as well. Shaheen trying to steer it out from under Oja. Oja trying to poke it to his fellow European, Daniil Glukaryov. Good start to this third period for the Zydeco, but can they make something of it? Right now they're looking for their first goal since the opening minutes of this game, but here comes Daniil Glukaryov the other way. Incisive pass right through the middle. Orca Weisblatt. Beautiful feed. Milan in the slot. Goes backhand on Stevens, and it's saved by the 28-year-old. A beautiful start to the third period for the Zydeco, but it's the Rock Lobsters who have the best opportunity out of it. Milan getting tied up there with the Finn Kim Mietinen. Kyle Powell looking for Gallant. Things opening up for Chirac. Toward the end boards, Haggerty tied up at the line. Garrett Johnson loose out in front. Kyle Powell with a stiff arm, and taking it the other way is Hunter Alden. Lots of talks about him trying to score his first goal as an Athens Rock Lobster. Gets edged out, and the net is off its moorings, and time will have to stop with 18:25 to go. The Rock Lobsters looking for their first regulation win in a week. They defeated the Motor City Rockers 4-1 last Friday before dropping 2 straight to the Port Huron Prowlers. Shots on goal now in favor of Athens, 22-16. Haggerty asking the linesman, why is Virgili not getting kicked out of the circle there? Good win towards Alden for Virgili, who tries to leap out of midair to get that puck. Saved at the line, but only temporarily by Athens. The Rock Lobsters looking for a goal that would be the dagger in this game. They had opportunities to deal that dagger in the second period. But going to that length never came for Athens. You feel like the next goal for the Rock Lobsters would create enough distance against a Baton Rouge team who has struggled to score over their last 3 games. This is a team, remember, Baton Rouge is a team that before their win last night on home ice against the Dashers, lost 2 against the bottom team of the Continental Division, the Mississippi Seawolves. Picard with the puck in. Avery Smith getting knotted up with some Zydeco. Baton Rouge coming away with a biscuit. Long-range pass. Lavalier stops it in the trapezoid. Makes a play himself. Time ticking down in the third period, but 1 goal here for Baton Rouge changes the complete complexion of this game. Picard with a quick turnaround, can't sweep that one away from Alex Sanyon. Looking for a lot of leading passes now are Baton Rouge. No one there to answer the call from Ethan Esposito. Weisblatt with a poker, drops down for Milan. Milan's going to take it himself. Over the Raising Cane's logo, into the far corner. Was looking for the banker. Milan can't bat that one down from midair. Good step up there from the Swedish defenseman Adam Oja. But wheeling around his own ice and into the neutral zone is Thomas McGuire. Thomas McGuire has done a little bit of everything this year as we see Shinkarik bat one, what he thought was away from danger, ends up going off the side netting of Lavalier. Glukarioff winning possession off of McGuire. Here he is again. Here he is again. He's been Danny Dangles ever since he's become accustomed to the North American game. That one ran through Milan and stopped by Stevens. Couple of interesting discussions happening behind Stevens here. And again, this is a Baton Rouge team that is probably unlikely to drop the gloves coming into this game with the least amount of penalty minutes in the FPHL. They had the lead in this game, 1-0, but goals from Orko Weisblatt, Philip Virgili, and then Garrett Milan, 2 of those 3 scoring on the power play, have the good guys up 3-1. Catola taking refuge behind Stevens' net. Trying to work their way from the left side. Float a puck into the Rock Lobster half of the ice. That one's going to go down as an icing. Haggerty was probably convinced that he had won the foot race there, but doesn't get the benefit of the call. Face-off will get taken back the length of the ice. Chance here to thank some of our friends of the show, Athens Area Urology. You're in good hands with Athens Area Urology. Plumber Pro, Hospitality South, Athens Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Classic City Flats, home of the Rock Lobsters, Harmon Enterprises, and Roto-Rooter. Cason Gallant has that one pop up over his shoulder on the face-off. Good win back from Alden, sends it off the far boards for Kyle Powell. Into the corner, pass Gallant, picked back up by the Swede Virgili. Virgili, great hold off there if Catola tried to go backhand, takes a check right out in front of Stevens' net. Kolatarsi has stepped up. Out from the near corner, an awkward bounce off the far boards, and that creates some light at the end of the tunnel for the Zydeco. sent in by Cox. How about that for the evasion there from Hunter Alden? Ooh, a shot from McGuire blocked out by a pair of Rock Lobsters, the combination of Alden and Virgili. Beautiful feed from Alden, and Gallant gets it through the 5-all. Oh my goodness, the beautiful no-look move from Gallant as he was hard in on Stevens' net. And he has a lot of responsibility to take for that goal. But how about the feed from Hunter Alden, who had the vision to see Gallant going hard in on the Baton Rouge net? The Red Deer Rocket rifles one past Stevens, and the Rock Lobsters are up 4-1. "23rd shot on goal for the Rock Lobsters. They have thoroughly controlled the pace of this third period, and while they may have been able to do that the second night in Port Huron, they've had the dividends, the goals to show for that effort now. Chasing that one down as the newest Rock Lobster was announced his signing at midnight today. Zach Papapetros. Avery Smith gets it taken away from him. Leading pass towards Ethan Esposito, has some speed, but Matt Garcia, a better read of the game from the Rock Lobster defenseman. Again, you don't have to feel that bad for Hunter Alden. He hasn't had his goal, but when he makes plays like that, can Avery Smith get his first as a Rock Lobster? Misses the top shelf. When Alden is making plays like that, you don't have to feel too bad. He affects the game so much without finding the goals. Baton Rouge with an even bigger task at hand now. Adam Oja up the left side. Little bit of European union there between him and Glukaryov. Glukaryov with a push down towards Garrett Johnson in the inboards. Larwood, the captain, recently named. Clever little play there from the man from Japan, Ryo Namiki. A little bit of confidence for him. He evades a couple of Rock Lobsters and gets it out of the zone. And another icing against Baton Rouge. The Rock Lobsters potentially have their dagger. Kaysen Gallant rockets towards the net and makes it 4-1. Let's see if the Rock Lobsters can complete what has been a complete performance thus far. We'll be back after this commercial break. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Crustacean Nation, the time is now. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobster season are officially on sale. Lock in your seat and be a part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment right here in the tank at Aikens Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in the Classic City all season long. Scan the QR code to secure your tickets today. We're seeing a face-off here on the left side of the offensive zone. Kaysen Gallant winning it off the end boards, intercepted by the Zydeco. Give a special shout out here as we see Baton Rouge enter on the right side. to Darcy, Whitney, and Danielle, the special members of this Rock Lobster family who've helped us get to 2,000 tonight. Chirac trying to make something happen. Skies one over the bar. We potentially have a new activation as well if the Rock Lobsters are able to close out this win, and they're well on their way right now. Tight angle shot. That one almost found its way in the top shelf, but ends up going side netting instead, and Lavalier was hugging that post, and as he was doing so, shook the net off its moorings. So the special activation, if the Rock Lobsters are able to win, will be 20% off all products at Classic Sativa. There'll be a chance for you to scan the QR code. If it's too fast for you when we end the game, make sure you pause the stream to scan that code. Dropped off at the line. Garcia loaded up for the new man, Papa Petros. Avery Smith, the other newest Rock Lobster. Little bit of a sell there from McGuire, trying to show that the slash was in on the glove. Smith on the left side, glove save from Stevens. Recycled quickly. Catola. We've got an extremely zoomed in camera for you here. We apologize about that. Turned around at the line, intercepted by Papa Petros. My goodness, we're getting to evaluate the game at a microscopic level here. Carter Shinkarik looking like a scientist himself with the puck. Shinkarik out of the far corner. Wraps around Stevens' net. Takes it back towards the line. Tape to tape. Pass! Oja right into the midsection of Stevens. Columbus has now taken a 6-3 lead against the Monroe Moccasins. It looks like we are in line for a de facto clinch for the Rock Lobsters tonight. Let me see if I can make the window here a little bit better. So that's going to need to wait. Milan over the dot. Contact came from the Zydeco, but in possession of the Rock Lobsters. Into the boards. Glukariov, Weisblatt to the line. Oja. Little bit of dancing from the Swede at the blue line. Weisblatt to Shinkarik. Backhand sweep back to Weisblatt. Weisblatt loses a handle of that puck, but slaps back at it for Garrett Milan. Glove save from Stevens. A beautiful story here from Eddie Hodgson in the chat here. Want to give a very, very special shout out to season ticket holder Jeremy, who apparently today had a successful hip replacement. If you're watching from home tonight, Jeremy, thank you so much for being a part of Crustacean Nation. We hope you get better soon, because we want to see you at the Lobster Tank, man. Virgili gets kicked out of the faceoff. Alden takes his place. Pow, a shot from the line. Alden has been so clever with the puck tonight. Almost tried to shove it in wraparound style on the backhand. He's been highlighting how creative he can be on the puck. The dagger came on the goal from Gallant, and it was a beautiful feed. Alden looking like a quarterback. Swept back in by Virgili. Rio Namiki The Japanese skater, bank pass on the near side, picked up by Wilson. That one off the inboards and bounces back to Lavalier. I would love to be able to shout out all of you. I'm looking at you, Jesus, because Jesus has been no doubt one of the most lively members of our chat this year. And Jesus is thoroughly enjoying himself tonight watching the stream. And it's been an enjoyable one from a Rock Lobster perspective. 25 shots on goal in comparison to Zydeco's 18. And Lavalier has not been that busy, but he's only let in one goal, and that was the one that opened up the contest here. Avery Smith against Chirac on the defensive zone draw. And Avery Smith, I was just going to call it a fantastic face-off win, but it looks like we're going to do it over here. Avery Smith will win it the second time around. I was just going to talk about how Smith has impressed from the face-off circle today. Drop back from Smith towards Papa Petros. And an icing called against Athens. We're going to a commercial break here. Rock Lobsters lead 4-1. Is it too little too late from the Zydeco to get back in this one? Only one way to find out, and that's after this commercial break. Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding.
9:50 to go in regulation here. Smith once again gets kicked out of the face-off circle. Again, de facto, if the Rock Lobsters were able to complete this win tonight and the result holds in the Columbus to Monroe game, the Rock Lobsters would be able to clinch a playoff spot tonight. We'll see if the FPHL will show that to be the case, because if the Monroe Moccasins are still able to somehow pull off a miracle and get even on points with the Rock Lobsters, and that would take them winning all remaining games, as we see Kyle Russell with a beautiful cross-crease feed, I believe the Rock Lobsters would have the head-to-head on the tiebreaker anyway. Dmitry Kuznetsov trying to make something happen here and give the fans at the Raising Cane's River Center something to cheer about here. Left circle shot, a tight angle from Jake Cox, blocked out in front. Mario Namiki picks it up, loses a handle temporarily. Able to evade Milan with a pass towards Catola. A spill out in front of Namiki by Weisblatt, who has to go and gather his stick. Loose pass from Namiki, and the Baton Rouge Zydeco get away with it. But for how long? Catola out of the corner. Ooh, a big hit from Weisblatt and Namiki, but it might turn into a great offensive play for the Zydeco. Scott Chirac making it look like a shootout, but Lavalier stands tall. Weisblatt to Shinkarik. Shinkarik gets a piece. Glukarioff with a step up. Another big hit from Weisblatt. They call him the killer whale for a reason. Match him. Another tight angle shot. Takes a piece of Lavalier over the crossbar. And then another save from Willie. Couple of great offensive opportunities for the Zydeco, but if they can't score on those, will they be able to ripple one into the net before the final horn blows? Centering feed there from Miettinen, and then a shot from the line. I think that one took a piece of a Baton Rouge player, if anyone. Back to Wilson. Blue line shot. No good from Johnson. But perhaps the best offensive spell from Baton Rouge in this period, and that one's off the post. A beautiful dangle there from Thomas McGuire, and things just not falling for Baton Rouge. Even when they create the windows of opportunity, they can't throw anything through those windows. Scoreline stays where it is at 4-1. McGuire, who had that beautiful highlight reel goal, what was the potential goal that made it a 4-2 game, go off the post. Rock Lobsters trying to add salt to the wound here. Gallant's feed misses Papa Petros. Virgili to the left for Alden. Virgili rides the goal line, pops out for Russell. Can't get anything on it. Oja through the crease. Falls out for the Rock Lobsters on the far side. Good tenaciousness from Matt Garcia. I've been really impressed with his play and his return from injury. Garcia with the pin there, and then we'll ask for the change. Russell trips it through, but Namiki is a very good skater despite being a defensive player. Saved in from the blue line. Jake Cox in behind. Ooh, tries to center one from the left side of the boards. Ended up being a better shot than anything. Centering pass. Good opportunity out in front, but Lavalier has been heroic in the third period. Brandon Picard the other way with a shot saved by Stevens. Thomas McGuire had the best opportunity to score in this third period. Chipped back in by Baton Rouge, but there's been better tape-to-tape passing. There's been better stick handling. There's been a better all-around play from Baton Rouge in this third period, but nothing to show for it as Garrett Milan is looking for goal number 5 for Athens. Milan has already scored goal number 32 on the year. 3-on-2 developing, making it 4-on-2. Shot goes wide from Kuznetsov. Milan with a toe drag into the slot, followed up by Weisblatt, who got there late. But then at the line, it's Matt Garcia who took a hit up high, and now he wants a piece of Kuznetsov. Things starting to get a little bit chippy between these two teams. It's been a good officiating in this game thus far. The referees have really been able to take the pot off the heater before things get to the point where they'll boil over. Looks like we're going to a commercial break here. Rock Lobsters with a 4-1 lead. very, very close to making it to the final horn with all 3 points. Let's see if they can complete the effort. It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Taproom. Terrapin, do the right thing, always.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobsters' biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo calls Crawford Laundry. Justin Portillo only trusts Crawford Laundry to get his toughest game day stains out in plenty of time for the next one.
This thing on? Perfect.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust.
What remains of this third period is about 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Ooh, good win from Glukarioff right behind Stevens' net. Milan around toward the line. Shot comes in. Deflection out in front. Falls for Milan. Fakes the shot, wraps it in around. Oh, my goodness, what an effort from Milan. No goal, says the official. Oh, my goodness. Garrett Milan with a tremendous effort in around Stevens' net. And Stevens must have had some sort of heroic save on that one to keep Milan out. Milan loses his stick as he tries to get it in between the arms of Larwood. Larwood spills in behind. Shot opens up. Oh, my God, what a glove save from Wilson. William Lavalier. And things starting to turn into fisticuffs in behind Willie's net. But 2 tremendous saves back-to-back from Stevens and then Lavalier on the other side. It looks like Garcia is coming away from that scrum with a penalty. There hasn't been a ton of window of opportunity late on in this game for the Zydeco, but if they're able to score early on what looks to be a Leslie Jones Law penalty kill, it would take a miracle, but miracle much more likely if they get one here. Important face-off, but Virgili wins out. Rock Lobsters want no business of this puck on their end of the ice. Will send it all the way down. Columbus River Dragons have gone to a final against the Monroe Moccasins, and they've won 6-3. Mietnin to Larwood, enters in on the right side. Power play unable to get settled here. Virgili with the forecheck on the penalty kill. Let's see if the Zydeco start thinking about emptying the net. Left circle right into the middle of Lavalier. Couple of extracurriculars right out in front of the French Canadians' net. It's getting down to crunch time. The Zydeco trying to have something to prove late on in this game and go into tomorrow night's contest with a little bit more confidence. Not a lot of mustard on that pass. Was a dangerous one. Seen a lot of penalty kill time in this game for Zach Papapetros. And here he is. Papapetros up the right for Weisblatt. The killer whale over the bar. All the way around. Stopped by Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov slaps it around. Lavalier lets it run for Papapetros. Crisp one-time clearance. We've got a stoppage here. That one's into the glove of Stevens. Heavy lead here for the Rock Lobsters. Avery Smith has done well on the faceoff circle here, but he loses out to Haggerty. 20 seconds on the power play. About a minute 20 in regulation. Tight angle shot. They had to try something there, but it was an easy save for Lavalier. Smith shakes it out of the far corner, and that one's sent out of play by Baton Rouge. First trip to Baton Rouge of the year for the Rock Lobsters, and it'll end up being their only trip. Rock Lobsters will welcome the Zydeco to a 3-game set at Aikens Ford Arena later on. Still 6 games to be played against these Louisiana teams, but luckily all will be at home. If this result holds, and it looks like it will, the Rock Lobsters will be undefeated against Louisiana teams this year, moving to 14-0. Good play there from Oja. Rock Lobsters back at even strength. Awkward bounce. Russell almost got to that one. Baton Rouge Zydeco think better of emptying their net even on the power play there. Pow, as this game is kind of just meandering towards its end here. Glukaryov steps on the brakes. Alden with a backhand sweeper in toward the end boards, looking for Russell. 20 seconds of play in regulation. Good cutout there from Picard. Picard not giving up on this one despite already having the heavy lead here. It'll be pinned to the end boards, and the Rock Lobsters make it look easy in the Bayou. A 4-1 win for the Crustaceans. We need some confirmation from the FPHL, but I believe that solidifies playoffs for the Rock Lobsters as they have a 4-1 victory against Baton Rouge, and in Columbus, a 6-3 victory for the River Dragons against the Monroe Moccasins. To my understanding, it was still possible for Monroe to get level with the Rock Lobsters on points, but it would be Athens that would have a heavy favorite to have the tiebreaker, so potentially the Rock Lobsters having clinched a playoff spot. However, the FPHL website still has not reflected Carolina clinching a playoff spot, and they are definitely already in the playoffs with a point tally of 104, which has grown with a 7-1 win against the Watertown Wolves today. Athens Rock Lobsters will move to 95 points. And taking a look here, the Rock Lobsters with a 4-1 win. Let's see who will be our 23 design 3 stars of the night. It was the Zydeco who took the lead in this one on the first goal of the night, but it was all Athens from then on out. There is one man who has 3 points in this one, and we'll get to him in just a second. Third star of the night is going to go to William Lavalier, 22 saves. He got beaten early on in the game, and he stayed not that busy for most of the night. He makes 22 saves, only lets 1 in. He is your third star of the night on the broadcast. Star number 2 will go to Garrett Milan. He was able to score on a snapshot on the power play and also had an assist on the night. He had a 2-point night, did Super Milan. But how sweet it has been to be the Swede as of late. That man on your screen right now, Philip Virgili, with a goal and 2 assists. He has looked refreshed since coming back from his suspension. It is Virgili who will be the 23 design first star of the night with a game-leading 3-point effort. And that's a great segue into telling you what we have to tell you now. Crustacean Nation, the time is now. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobsters season are officially on sale. Lock in your seat and be part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment right where it matters, in the tank, Aikens Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in town all season long. Scan the QR code on your screen now to secure your tickets and join the Rock Lobsters family today. But we also have a Fan Saves activation to talk about. 20% off all products when the Rock Lobsters win, as they do tonight in Baton Rouge. If you need to, go ahead and pause the broadcast there so you can scan that QR code and get your deal for 20% off at Classic Sativa. Well, the Rock Lobsters with a big 4-1 win. They will try to replicate that effort tomorrow night in the Raising Cane's River Center. 8:05 is when puck drop is due in Baton Rouge. We cannot wait to see you here on the broadcast. We're trying to confirm if the Rock Lobsters have clinched a playoff spot. Let's see if we can get that. Rock Lobsters with a 4-1 win. We'll see you tomorrow night here on the Athens Rock Lobsters.